Hey everyone, this is Carol Ann, and with me is my good friend Michael Shannon. Hey Michael.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
And this is the Doctor Who Sanctuary podcast, and we are going to be doing a new feature that we've never done before called the Doctor Who Fan Re-Do. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take an episode and from the fan perspective, we're going to totally rewrite it as to what we wanted to see. How does that sound?
That sounds awesome.
I don't
Definitely.
think there's too many podcasts out there that are doing this. It's basically like fan fiction, but in a podcast.
Yes.
And the first episode we're going to be doing is one that's been generating a lot of heat and activity on the blogosphere lately, and that's last week's episode, Journey to the Center of the Tardis.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mike, I'll let you start. So, you got the floor. Tell me, how will you rewrite Journey to the Center of the Tardis?
Woo! All right. Where do I begin here? All right. Again, my opinion on this episode, as it was roughly 50-50. Okay? Mainly due to the fact that I wanted to see more of the TARDIS. More of the rooms, more of the insides and all that. So, I definitely would, the theme going on with the brothers running the salvage ship and all, that was cool. A cool way to introduce, what happened with the TARDIS, with Claire getting, stuck in it by herself and all. That was a cool enough idea. But I wouldn't have had it so easy, like made it so easy that the Doctor was able, been able to get inside the TARDIS. I would have stretched that out a little longer. Let Claire at least have a bit of an adventure inside the TARDIS. More than, oh man, the library was amazing looking.
Right.
Okay, it was. But again, me and a couple other, the Time Lord book was cool and all, but for something the Doctor doesn't want people really knowing about, to put it on a pedestal with light shining on it, you know what I mean? It ain't really, it's just right there, And the other thing with her opening up the book and opens up the second page she turns to, sees his name. I don't know, curious how that was written, that she even picked up. Did it say the Doctor is so and so? I don't even know. And her reaction on it was, she wasn't really surprised. She was just like, oh, that's who. Like it was somebody familiar, like his name. I don't know. So I would definitely have took the Time Lord book and hidden it, okay, where she could, kind of come upon it. And I can actually picture her going into the library, even if that's the first room she goes into, finding this book, and just sitting in a little bit of a corner, kind of paging through it, not looking to, to 2 pages, really getting it, really sucked into it, and maybe even as she was reading it, maybe we could have got a flashback or two of a little bit of what the Time War looked like. That would have been cool as she was reading it, and she could be narrating it, like she's reading it in her head with a little bit of, war going on, with the Time Lords and all that on Gallifrey. That would have been, I mean, not to give too much away, but just a little bit of it would have been cool. A good start.
Right.
And then when she's done that, maybe she could be a little, a little upset, maybe even if still she does see the name of the Doctor, maybe a little more not like that too. That was kind of weird, but maybe a little more surprised, oh, I don't know, something on them lines. Then when she would leave the library, I would have had her. I mean, seeing the those creatures that were supposed to be her, the lava-looking people, that was weird. I might have put, which would have been really cool. I mean, since it was in a weird time distortion or whatever you want to call it, I would have put past companions in it, just walking around, like Ghost.
Right.
kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like they're kind of like doing their own thing, walking by. That would have been cool. That would have been cool. I would have loved to see her go into the room with the big swimming pool. We did see it, but she didn't actually go in the room. You know, I would have loved to see man, I would have loved to see her, hop into the Tardis kitchen and maybe just get a glass of milk or something. You know what I mean? And she can open up the fridge and you can see a box of fish fingers in the freezer or something. You know what I mean? Some little bit of custard there, so you know that that's still relevant.
Yeah, a little bit of celery.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Something on them lines, definitely. I mean, I did like the idea of that one room she went into that had the doctor's crib in it, and it had the little toy TARDIS that was Amy's. It would have been cool. I would have liked that a little better because I did pause that a lot to look in the background. I didn't notice anything else of any real significance other than she picked up an umbrella, but it didn't really wasn't like it was the seventh Doctor's umbrella or the sixth Doctor's umbrella. It just looked like a regular umbrella. Would have been cool if there was something more standout-ish, like, oh, that's the umbrella with the big red question mark on it, or it would have been cool if that was like a room where he kept a little something from each of his companions. Like they wouldn't you wouldn't see the stuff. You would have to watch the episode a couple times or freeze frame it to actually see different things in the background from different companions. That would have been cool. Another thing with the when the Doctor finally gets in with the crew and all, the whole them going to the Eye of Harmony now, man, that looked a lot different than we've seen it before.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying? I know I'm thinking more on the line of the Eighth Doctor's movie. Which I was expecting to. I wasn't expecting to see the actual. It was cool looking. Don't get me wrong. It's just I wasn't really expecting it. Then I'm thinking, how did he get a rock out of that for the previous episode?
Right.
You remember that? Like that doesn't even look like. I don't know. It just confused me a little bit.
Yeah, it was like too. Like I know what you mean. It was too much. I think.
Yeah, it was too epic. To have this in the TARDIS. I would have clarified a little, with those egg-looking things. I would have clarified them more being eggs. That would have been a cooler way to go. I know that it's where the TARDIS builds vehicles or whatever for the Doctor. I guess that's where he gets his moped built once in a while when he needs one, I assume.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool, and I would have understood a little more that the TARDIS was angry that the guy was taking it if it was actually a TARDIS egg.
You're right.
Like if he would have said that's my baby, or that's the TARDIS's egg, man. You can't, that's priceless, man. You cannot take that,
Right.
And then the TARDIS getting pissed off and making all the labyrinths and all this and that, then like even when the Doctor hooked back up with Claire, they didn't do much other than going into I guess basically a holodeck room where they kind of were on a cliff. Then they talked a little bit. He told her, that is that when he told her that
yeah, she didn't make sense and all that stuff.
Right, yeah. Then he's like, trust me, let's jump. So they did. Then they ended up in the, I guess was that like the engine room?
Yeah,
but
and then
like,
but it was destroyed.
Yeah, it was like going in real super slow motion. And that was kind of cool, the whole the end of it with the reset like that. Oh, man, I would have figured something. I know this is off the top of my head, but I at least would have. I hate the reset thing because this makes the episode not really count for anything. Even though I assume the Doctor can remember it because he did say at the end it felt like 2 days to him. Would have had Clara remember that. I wouldn't have did the whole reset thing.
Hey, Mike. Your audio is cutting out a little.
Oh, okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay. It just sounds like echoey.
Oh, okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's still doing it. It's weird.
Well, I'm coming to my close on it, where I would.
There you go. You're better now.
Okay, where I would have. I just didn't like the reset button thing. Would have thought of something else out. Doctor could have just farted around with the controls a little bit and did it in his own little doctory way, without it having to be a whole erase button thing, where nothing really mattered and it didn't really count, But yeah, I would have went. I mean, my main thing is I would have went more in depth with the TARDIS, and like I said, put the ghost of classic companions, not just their voices. It would have been cool just to see, even if they were digitally done. Could have Perry Brown in a swimming pool, or whatever, Leela, just that couldn't see her or anything, just shit that happened in the TARDIS years ago, and maybe even past doctors, and she don't know who these people are. They would scare her. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
You could picture that in your mind right now. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how I would rewrite that, basically. I mean, if I had a pen and paper or a typewriter, I'd go a little more in detail, but that's the basics of it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
Okay. The way I see it, and unfortunately I've put way too much time into this while I'm at work and stuff, thinking about how I would rewrite Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. I would keep the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because the beginning was well written, it was well put together, it was a great introduction where you see these, the scavenger vessels with these three people, 2 are human, 1 is an android, and then, you see the Doctor and Clara, and basically the Doctor is kind of showing off in a way by dropping all the shields and let Clara, drive the TARDIS. And unfortunately, his mistake and his not thinking clearly is what caused the TARDIS to be in trouble and be captured by the salvage team. I would keep all of that. From there, I would pretty much rewrite the whole thing. Basically, I would keep, Clara is trapped inside the TARDIS, the Doctor is thrown outside, and I would keep that part, and then I would make it harder for the Doctor to get into the TARDIS. I would make it like maybe he can chant something in Gallifreyan or do something more than just opening it up the standard way that they did, Right. I would have a little bit more drama there. When he went inside, that would basically stay the same. But when the Doctor got mad and set the self-destruct sequence,
yes,
that was real. You know how all of a sudden it's oh, that was fake. There was no self-destruct. No, that was real. The Doctor was really mad at these people because these people took his TARDIS, damaged his TARDIS, put his friend in danger. So the Doctor, the way I would rewrite it is that was real. That the Doctor was really mad and getting revenge on these people. If you do not help me, we're all gonna die. So that was real.
Yes.
I love seeing the rooms. I would have spent more time, maybe seeing some rooms instead of just those couple of rooms that she saw. When she went into the library, I like the idea too about the book on the Time War.
Yes.
But I also wouldn't have had it in on a pedestal. I would have had it in with other books, where it's kind of blended in with other things, and she just accidentally saw it. Yes. And I would also have it where everything's in Gallifreyan, where she can't read it, but for some reason the TARDIS wanted her to see that one book. So you see her taking it off the, shelf and maybe going over to her corner and sitting.
Yeah.
And while she was looking through the book, she couldn't read it, but some of the words were being portrayed in her mind, kind of like a telepathy thing.
Oh, okay.
And you see little flashes here and there, and she spent a lot of time in the library, more time than any other room.
Yeah.
And also, I would see the TARDIS getting angry, especially at the 3 guys. You don't have this little brotherly love going on. You have like revenge from the TARDIS against these three guys, and one by one the TARDIS like takes them out.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I saw it, especially when that one guy took one of those egg things.
Yeah.
I was thinking, as he's walking out, I pictured myself, in my mind I pictured the TARDIS turning into like a giant squid, like, you know, and like wrapping, you know, her tentacles and the wires and stuff like that coming out from the TARDIS and like taking him somewhere, and he disappeared.
Right.
You know, and one by one she is doing that to these people who, you know, hurt her.
Yes.
Those zombie things wouldn't even be in existence. That the zombies that's not even a part of the episode. You know, that just didn't happen. Then I did like that scene in the engine room when the doctor finds himself on his own, and he knows the countdown is running, you know, for the self-destruct. So there's nobody else. The TARDIS just like killed those other three guys, and he finally finds Clara, but he does it through like his own mind. Like he opens up and he like, you know, really lets go, and he's able to like, you know, use his mind to find her, some kind of like psychic thing. And he finds her. They go into the engine room, and, you know, basically have that same scene. But you remember when, I forget what episode it was, but remember, I almost want to think it was that one Time of the Machines or whatever, I forget what it was called, but it's that one where the Doctor, Rose, and Mickey go into that alternate universe where it's the rise of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
And wasn't there like this scene where something happened with a circuit, and the 10th Doctor blew on this little circuit, and he said, I just gave up 10 years of my life? Yeah. Okay. Why couldn't, my scene that I picture this is they have that heartfelt moment, and it's in the engine room that the Doctor tells Clara about herself and why he doesn't get it. And, you know, it's just this big dramatic moment, and then you see the Doctor give up some of his regenerative energy to save the TARDIS. And he can say a line like, you've always been there for me, now I'm here for you. And then you see like him regenerate, you know, and maybe instead of, you know, he's still the 11th Doctor, but maybe he has a streak of white hair or something. That's what I pictured. Or maybe like his eyes changed color for a split second, or some little feature, like maybe he got a scar on his face or something. You know, something happened where he gave up some of his life to save the TARDIS, and then doing that like regenerates the TARDIS, and then they're able to get back to the control room, and then they can go off. And then you know, when Clara is like flipping out and stuff like that because now the Doctor told him the truth. And also Clara, you know, also knew about the Doctor's name, you know, from the book, because it's like a psychic thing. Right. Maybe it's like the TARDIS does something to protect the Doctor, because the Doctor saved her, she's going to turn around and save the Doctor, and maybe like, you know, wipe both of their memories. So neither one of them has an idea of what happened. So it's not really a redo button, but it's the TARDIS, you know, just wiping their memory, kind of like what the Doctor did to Donna. Yes. But the TARDIS does it.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then the way the episode ends is the Doctor teaching Clara how to fly, but then he changes his mind at the last minute. It's not a redo where they go back in time or anything like that. Like it never happened. Everything happened, but you know, the Doctor saved the TARDIS, and then the TARDIS saved the Doctor and like wiped their memories, so they have no idea what happened. Cool. And that's how it ends. So that was my take on it.
Hey man, it seems like you've been thinking about that one.
Way too much.
Jesus.
Way too much.
But yeah, that definitely, man, that would have worked. I would have went with that, definitely. Shit.
Yeah, I gotta get a life.
Oh man, I know. Oh, well, that's the same with me sometimes. Shit. But you know what? It's cool. I mean, it's cool to think about other, like, what ifs if you could change it. It is a cool idea. I do like it.
Yeah, and I look forward to doing this with other episodes.
Yes.
And anybody that wants to hop on board, let us know.
Yes, definitely. The more the merrier, I say.
Yeah, and we'll get, like, everybody can, like, say how they would redo it.
I'd like to redo Love and Monsters. Get that out of the way.
Yeah, why don't we plan that on the next one?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so we'll get that out there. The next podcast, like maybe this time next week?
Yeah.
Around 8:30 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday night, the next redo we'll do is is Love and Monsters.
Yes, and if anybody's interested, please join us.
Yeah.
Please. Another friend or two would be nice.
Yeah. This is great.
Yes, definitely.
Well, do you have anything you want to add, Mike?
No, it seems like we both came up with some pretty good ideas for the episode.
Yeah, your idea about the like the ghosts of the past companions.
I know,
which cool.
Also on top of it, which would have been pretty cool. That's what at first you don't see them. You see like shadow, and that's what she's afraid of, and she's running away from them, and you slowly see that they're.
Or you hear voices.
Right, and they're just echoes from the past. Like you might see like Rosewalk, Perry Brown, whoever, the Fifth Doctor, just walk by, or you got the Sixth Doctor just farting around in the control room with some wires and shit. You know what I mean? I mean, just how cool would that be?
Oh, and you can even have like Roger Delgado, because wasn't he in the Tardis at one point?
Yes, definitely.
So have like a echo of the Master. How awesome would that have been?
It would have been nice to see though, a canine unit.
Oh, I know.
Like even broken down, because he had other canines. You know what I mean? This whole not having canine in it for this long kind of pisses me off.
I know.
I don't expect them to make canine a full companion, but once in a blue moon, bring the guy out in an episode.
Yeah,
how cool! Like your favorite episode, school reunion, one of your favorites.
Yeah.
How cool was it that canine was in that?
I mean, he wasn't in it through the whole thing. He was in it when he was needed. So why can't they do that once in a blue moon?
Right.
Because where is Canine right now? I mean,
who is taking care of poor Canine?
I know.
Is Sky taking care of him? I don't know. I mean, Luke's off in college, right?
Right.
Sarah Jane passed away, I assume. I mean, they haven't announced it in the show yet. The character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does Torchwood have him?
Wow. Captain, I don't know. I wouldn't trust poor Canine with Captain Jack. Love Captain Jack, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Captain Jack has a thing for everything.
Yeah, that's true. Poor Canine doesn't need that.
All right, let's not get into that discussion.
That could be another time.
I'm picturing all the things Canine does. Like, oh man. All right, well, yeah, this went well.
Yeah, this was great for the Virgin run of Fan Redo. This turned out to be a great time.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And hopefully next week more of you can join us.
Yes, please do.
All right, so have a great night, everyone.
Yes, good night. Sweet dreams.